I love bleach. I use it for everything. Dude, that's a real easy question for me. But it's a question that comes with not everybody's gonna like the answers. The thing about yeah, but I mean early Green Day or later Green Day? Well, with me I think you could probably guess it's all about early Green Day. See, when I first heard them, dude, they were not on MTV. I really think I had a lot. I'm serious. You might think I'm crazy. I think I'm crazy too, but I often wonder why they came to be popular. They were one of my favorite bands back in 1990. I didn't even know they were a real group. I thought that they were just like a one-off. I had a copy of 1,000 Hours and I had a copy of all this other shit. I had gotten it from this guy I worked landscaping with. He used to work for this guy Dion down the road. And Dion would work us real hard. He'd take us to the rich part of town. Whenever I hear Salvation, that's what I think of too. Yeah. And he would just work us like dogs. These Schenectady kids, us scumbags, kind of, drug addicts and shit, going into Niskayuna, one of these beautiful neighborhoods, and just fucking doing intense lawn care all day on their big, giant fucking lawns. And we were allowed to have Walkman, so I had mine all day. And that's all I listened to. And I got friendly with this hippie kid, Doug, who was a big dude. And he was a hippie dude, but he was into all kinds of music. He's like, dude, I got this. I'm listening to this band. I think that you'll fucking love it. I'm like, nah, I never really I'm not, even music people don't even think I'm musical. And he lent me, a Green Day single. And it had like 409 in Your Coffee Maker, and it had Paper Lanterns on it. I think was the first Green Day song I heard. So, yeah, it was a long time ago. And I became obsessed with them, and I became obsessed with all the bands he had on there, because for some reason he had all the beginnings of Berkeley on there in singles. Don't ask me how, but this is way before MTV. And I'm like, what's going on in California? These guys sound like my band. Maybe a little better or something because they're older or whatever, but this sounds like the shit I'm doing. Because I had quit metal to do punk rock, and I remember everybody was shaking their head at me and calling me names. They're like, how could you do that? That's so fucked up to go play punk rock? Why? What the fuck's wrong with you? You don't want to play in the metal band anymore. It's like, dude, I don't even like metal. I like rock and roll. And that's what I did, and then soon they came to be popular. And then I'm seeing girls coming down the hallway with Green Day shirts on. It fucked with my mind. I was like, yeah, but that's my band. Shit like that. And then I had to watch it happen to everybody. Bad Religion, and then, and the Misfits came back. That was fucking weird. I really think I had something to do with that. Because I was like always on the sidelines. I used to stalk them. I don't know why. We were just obsessed with that band. This kid, Nick Esposito, came back with some tapes of WHRB, I think it was, in Boston, where, like Harvard College radio station, where they were doing 4 hours of the Misfits called You Make Me Sick. And it had Curtis Casella, like you see on YouTube now. And we always wondered what Curtis looked like. He looked nothing like we thought. And another chick, and they talked, and they actually had Glenn Danzig call in, because they were friends with him from fucking whatever record label, the one that Gangrene was on. And and that's where I got the original cuts of Static Age 2. But they had the radio compression. And they said we first heard that version of Teenagers from Mars, we hit the fucking roof. It was we landed by. It was like all slow like that, and we're just like, wow, that was on Static Age, and we called the record Beware then. But I used to have dreams of acquiring the original tapes of Static Age to see what else was on there. And then they played Return of the Fly, which we had never heard. We're like, what the fuck was that? Because we're used to Evil Live and shit at the time, and we just couldn't believe it. We're like, Return of the Fly? What? And then And we had never heard, we had heard Metallica's version of Last Caress. This is historically accurate, the shit I'm saying. This is how you should remember. We had heard Metallica's version before we heard the Misfits one. And we're like, yeah, that's a cool song. I got something to say. They did it all robotic and shit. And then we heard, and Curtis Casella says with his girlfriend there, and with that note, this is it. This is the Last Caress. I got something to say. With that C chord ringing. And we just hit the roof again. We're like, what the fuck? Is that how Last Caress sounds? And we just, yeah. And it made Nick a star, too. Oh, and they played Cough Cool on it, which we had never heard. We're like, what the fuck is this? What is this song? Is that the same band? Totally flipped our minds out. Yeah. And then they were playing, then they played a tape when Doyle actually got hit with that beer can. It was fucking awesome. Doyle says to him, or somebody says to him, hey, I found out who it is that's throwing the beer cans. You're wearing the rapid deployment jacket and you're a fucking pussy. If you got something to say, why don't you fucking say it? And then they're all scrambling to figure out what to do. And Arthur's like, all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. They go into that. Oh, man. So if you can find that, that whole bootleg entire is not on YouTube. I've been waiting for somebody to upload the fucking thing. I'm going to go through my tapes and upload it the second I find it. It just needs to be up here. WHRB, All Hell Breaks Loose. 2 hours of the Misfits it was. 2 hours. And the commercials were awesome too. Like, do you suffer from agoraphobia? Are you afraid to leave your house? Shit like that. And you can hear all the old show bills they read. Like, this Friday, May 13th, something wonderful is going to happen. Yeah, and freshly baked goods. That's what I love about it. But I met all the Misfits. Oh, my biggest life regret is losing my autographed copy, maroon copy of Unholy Passion, signed by everyone: Glenn Danzig, Gary Vaughn, and Steve. Yeah. I think it's in the Wozniak basement. I better get that back one day, boys. I think it is. I need that record. That record's mine. I sweated blood for that fucking record. It was Nick's. Nick had gotten it. I think he got them to sign it at Saratoga Winners back in 87 or 88. Him, Steve Nadeau went and got it signed. Then it eventually became Rich's. Then it became mine. Yup. And showing records to the best was just showing all my records to Bobby Steele, because he was verifying and validating and like taking stock of all. He's like, holy shit, there was only 15,000 of these, dude. I only pressed 15,000 of these. Act Your Rage or something, because he had a lot of those. He was telling me he signed all 20 of my records. I didn't even ask him to. He's like, you got any more? I'll sign them all, he said. And I'm like, what? Yeah. Hell yeah. So I had him sign all my Misfits that he played on. He was telling, I mean, and I seen Joey Image so many times. I seen him with the Undead. I seen him with the Misfits. No, I did not the Misfits, but I seen him with but I saw the Misfits so many times. It's just amazing, dude. Yeah.